Throughout art history, there have been several narrative themes. In this presentation, we'll focus on several themes like religion, myth, war, funerary rituals, and man's necessity to hunt. Thus, taking a close look at these images will help art historians and students understand these importances. One narrative is the Hall of Bulls. This image was found in France 15,000 through 13,000 BCE. The narrative of the bulls depicts man's idea to worship these mammals in order to experience a bountiful hunt. In other words, man's necessity to praise gods in order to provide these precious mammals. Another image also found in France. The wounded man and disabled bison, and this image was to represent the hunting scene.
Mythology have been an important part of history since the dawn of mankind. With art, its narrative elements are brought to life. An example of this is in the piece Laocoon and His Sons. Depicted here is a tragic scene of Laocoon and his children being bitten and constricted by sea serpents. According to the myth, Laocoon was a Trojan priest of Poseidon who was killed with both his sons after attempting to expose the ruse of the Trojan horse by striking it with a spear. The statue is highly dramatic and emotional, which helped to illustrate an important scene in Greek mythology. Another piece of interest is the Capitoline wolf, which shows a supposed scene of Remus and Romulus, founders of Rome, nursed by a mythical she-wolf from the legend of the founding of Rome. Its legends have been disputed since the statues of the babies were erected in the 15th century. Nevertheless, it was regarded as a symbol of Rome in ancient times.
In art, narratives about war and conflict were used to commemorate victory and celebrate strength. The standard of Ur was created in ancient Mesopotamia by 2600 BCE. It served to become a significant piece of art since it depicted Ur in times of war and peace, depending on which side was being viewed. The Alexander mosaic, or the Battle of Issus as it is known in our text, was created in Greece as a painting, but made into a Roman copy in 100 BCE. It depicts Alexander the Great's army overpowering and eventually defeating Darius III's Persian army, depicting Alexander's victory and strength. In art, narratives that had to do with funerary objects often had to do with their spiritual beliefs, so that they could be granted a good afterlife. The sarcophagus of Junius Bassus was a funerary object, a sarcophagus that was used to house the body of an ancient Roman politician named Junius Bassus. The Roman design, mixed with Christianity and both New and Old Testament narratives, was not common and would have been seen poorly at the time. The sarcophagus was created in 359 out of marble and is currently in Rome. Another sarcophagus that was created with the intention of creating a narrative was a sarcophagus of a philosopher, and was another funerary object, this time carrying the body of an unknown philosopher. The side of the sarcophagus also contains New and Old Testament scenes, and would indicate that whoever was buried here was a Christian, back before Christianity was rooted within Rome. The sarcophagus was sculpted of marble and was created in 270 AD. Religion in art was a major subject from the very beginnings of art, but it really expanded after Christianity came to light after Byzantine, and continued to grow as interpretations of key religious figures expanded as well. Justinian was a powerful and well-known Byzantine ruler, and as seen in Justinian Bishop Maximianus in attendance, he also believes he is of godlike descent, and that he would be the leading figure of both the empire and religion. The mosaic was created in the 530s AD, and is currently in Italy. Christ as the Good Shepherd was a mosaic that depicted Jesus as a shepherd and man as a sheep. But instead of slaughtering the sheep, the narrative goes on to say that Jesus would sacrifice himself rather than the sheep. Just as he would watch over and protect the people, he watches over his sheep to protect them. Mosaic was created in 425 AD and is currently in Italy.